Well, good morning, and thank you all very, very much for coming today. We've got a few people who've come quite a long way, quite a few from London, and one all the way from Finland. That's Andy from Bedit. So it's great that you're all here, and basically without all of you in the room, this event would not be possible. So I'm hugely grateful. Also, I'd like to thank Charlotte, Laura, and Annabelle at ECCI for supporting the event. This is the beautiful building we're in now, the Edinburgh Centre for Carbon Innovation. And in addition, a few other people, Robert Ianello from Arm University and John Prove from Farnell, who have donated the hardware for the Hardware Hackathon. I'd also like to thank our two moderators, Emil, who is here, and Theo, who I'm not sure is, but thank you very much for your contribution for the panels, for moderating the panels. Also Dom, who's probably not here because he's working hard next door, he's helped me put together the Hardware Hackathon, and we'll have the contestants coming through in a moment. And Tim, thank you so much for your help and support today, and Jane, who's out front. So there have been quite a few changes to the schedule, last minute changes, which I'd like to talk you through. Not all good news, some bad news, unfortunately. The first, and it mostly seems to be the drone panel that's most badly affected at the moment. So the first casualty of war is Steph from Aerial Works. Unfortunately, she can't be here. She's got a logistical challenge. She's got a gig down south and just simply could not be here today. Julian from Orange, apparently Orange vetoed his talk because he's working on some stealth technologies that had been embargoed at the last minute by Orange, so he had to pull out. Patrick from Emo Shape, but the good news is that we now have one of his colleagues, Brian Fitzpatrick, to take his place, and that's on the Smart Home panel in the afternoon. Now, the recent developments with the drone panel. Matt Harmsworth has got a family emergency. I found out about an hour ago that he can't attend. And more recently, about half an hour ago, Paul Georgie is sick and can't do the talk or join the panel. So Craig Roberts, the CEO of Cyberhawk, will be taking his place, doing an impromptu presentation, which is very impressive of him. So he'll be doing the talk instead of Paul. And Antoine, who's here, has kindly stepped in to join our panel. So I think we've got that all covered. Some housekeeping issues. You should have, in addition to a schedule, you should have a Wi-Fi code. This is specific to you, so please don't lose it and hold on to it, because further additional ones have to be purchased from the venue. So, unfortunately, that's the way it goes. So please hold on to those Wi-Fi codes. If you have any problems or you don't have one, please speak to Jane at the front of the entrance just over there, and she'll be able to take care of you. Lunch. So we'll be having lunch in Byblos, which is literally just go out of the building, go up to the top of the hill. But it's about a 2-minute walk, and just as you come to the main road on the right, you'll see Byblos. So if you have a red dot on your badge, it's included. If not, you can purchase a ticket from the conference website, which is iotedi.com. And the networking lunch will take place at Byblos. And we'll also return there later for the post-event networking as well. So, hashtag. Please, please, please use the hashtag when you're tagging photos and tweeting, which I hope you all will. Now, this is an IoT conference, so I suspect I should probably mention a few things about IoT. Why not? And what I'm going to do is start with the statistic that a lot of people are quoting, because it is an extraordinary statistic. There are going to be 50 billion connected devices on the planet by the year 2020. Now that's pretty extraordinary. In my book, in terms of the definition, it's pretty straightforward. If it's connected, it counts. So that can be all those gadgets, home monitoring gadgets, smart meters, thermostats and so on that you have in your home. They're connected, they count. Smart gadgets, accessories they're commonly called. So smart umbrellas, smart wallets, they come with GPS tracking so they don't get lost or stolen. They're connected via Bluetooth. They're part of the Internet of Things. Smartwatches, fitness trackers. Again, all that data is being stored and shared online. It's all part of the Internet of Things. All the way through to high-value industrial assets, wind turbines, aircraft, power stations. If they're remotely controlled and monitored, again, they're part of the industrial Internet of Things, which we'll talk about in a moment. Autonomous land, sea, and air vehicles. Again, we'll talk about drones. I guess a remote-controlled drone is not technically connected. Doesn't really count. If it's an autonomous drone, that's where things are heading. It's part of the IoT. Now, the thing about the IoT is it's been really high on the hype cycle for so many years, and people have been sort of, well, when's this actually going to happen? When are we going to see this innovation? And really, it's because 3 and 4G is a great technology for connecting people to people and people to things, but it sucks when it comes to connecting machines to machines, particularly if they're in a remote location. They're too expensive, they're too power hungry. Machines can't head over to a power plug and plug in. They're stuck in a field somewhere out in the North Atlantic Ocean. That's why they have to have these low power, super efficient devices. And that they're called essentially low power WANs, wide area networks. And they're being deployed right now, and that means that the Internet of Things is now doable. It's possible. You will be hearing a lot about LPWANs and M2M, and I'm not going to continue talking about them because there are people in this room who know they know what they're talking about. So essentially, I'm not a domain expert in that area. If there's one thing I feel compelled to communicate today, is that there really is a tsunami of innovation that's heading our way. Web 3.0 is going to make 1.0 look trivial. And I don't know how many remember the impact, the social and technological impact of Web 1.0, but compared to that, Web 3.0 is going to be substantially different, even more revolutionary than we can imagine. And we really need to educate ourselves about this stuff or get left behind. The speed of change really is unparalleled in history. This perfect storm of innovation that's heading our way will affect our homes, our businesses, and many different industry sectors. And that's because we'll have unlimited, low-cost storage, processing power, ubiquitous connectivity, coupled with robust, accurate, low-cost sensors, flexible, stretchable, bendable semiconductors, if you can imagine such a thing, particularly for wearables, if you can imagine sort of bendable, stretchable, wearable technology. Self-healing materials, energy harvesting materials. Jack in the back of the room somewhere, he's involved with that stuff. That's extraordinary. Nanocomponents, artificial intelligence, 3D printing, the maker movement, the democratization of pre-tail will drive the proliferation of smart connected devices like never before. And I'm personally fascinated by connected technology, but like many people, I'm kind of struggling to understand where it's all heading, which is why I decided a couple of years ago really to investigate, explore, and start blogging about all this stuff, and that's really the reason why I organized this event today. And the other thing about the IoT is it's forcing hardware experts and domain experts and software domain experts to collaborate out of necessity. And those two groups of people don't tend or haven't tended to hang out with each other throughout history. So you've got engineers, architects, material scientists, product designers, suddenly having to seek out app developers, software engineers, cybersecurity experts, big data analysts. And that coming together, hardware and software, again, is really the thing that's driving the Internet of Things out of necessity. And that to me is absolutely fascinating. And in, I suppose, some small way to illustrate that point, one of the reasons why I organized this hardware hackathon today is because exactly that process is happening with graduates and postgraduates in Edinburgh Uni, where the engineering school, who know about electronics and 3D printing and fabricating and building tangible products, are having to seek out guys in informatics who don't know anything about hardware, but they know how to write apps and code and all that sort of stuff. And so the teams that we'll see today competing in the hardware hackathon have come together, again, out of necessity, because they need each other's complementary skills. And it's going to be interesting to see how that works, because this is an experiment that's happening right here today. The hardware hackathon actually kicked off yesterday. The teams are 5 teams have been working on their projects, and they are going to present what they've been working on now, briefly, and then they'll go off next door and head over to their makeshift maker labs, and they'll come back at 5 p.m. sharp to present their prototypes in front of a panel of judges, and then an award will be given to the winner. So let's move on. Guys, do you want to come to the front? I've only got one deck sent through, and that's Team Red. So perhaps you guys want to kick off. Okay.
I have a USB drive.
Oh, you do?
Yeah.
Okay. Let's have a look. Let's see. Let's switch this off. Let's start with Team Red, because I've got those right here. Team Red, you good to go?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah? Okay. Okay, there we go.
Right, so our idea, do you have a remote?
Oh, you need to see your slides?
Yeah, it's just 2 slides, but
Just, okay. I can do that from here. Just wave at me when you need to.
so our idea is to create a connected home, essentially
Sorry, you got a mic. There you go.
essentially to have one device in which we can incorporate all the sensors and all the controls necessary to give us complete freedom to control our home from our phone. So examples of these that we're going to demonstrate later today are the motion sensor, the lights controls, and also the temperature sensors and temperature controls. And why that might be useful, for example, if you're going back home from work and you'd like to preheat your house, and then something unexpected has happened, so you can't really preheat it before when you're at home, and you don't anticipate the changes, then you can do it dynamically from your phone. So that's the benefit of that system.
Okay. Next slide.
And then if all the data is connected to your phone, you also have the ability to upload it online, share with other devices, and access it from wherever you like. And we think also that gives you additional flexibility and might be useful. So that's our idea, and that's what we work on at the moment.
Excellent. Well done. Right, let's try and get the next demo up. Okay. Is this one here?
Yep.
Just this. And full screen is the entry number.
Well done.
So hello everybody. Our team is the ARTISANs, which translated would be the master builders. And this is the picture. And the team members consist of Linas, who is the app developer for the smartphone, Evaldas, who is working for the sensors, and me, who's working for the software for the microcontroller. Our idea is pretty simple. We wanted to construct a greenhouse which would work automatically without the interaction of the user. The only ability for the user to interact with it is through the smartphone. For example, to tell the greenhouse that you want a constant temperature of, let's say, 20 degrees. Or you could simply say that I want the best autonomous mode for a specific plant to grow faster. And depending on the plant, you can choose different mode, which would enable to grow faster, so get your own food. And the greenhouse consists of such sensors as temperature, humidity, ground moisture, and light intensity. Additionally, we would be using heater, ventilators, LEDs, and valves for controlling those parameters like temperature and ground humidity. So that is pretty simple. You have a greenhouse which works automatically at your house and which brings you natural vegetables which you can consume yourself. In small scale, yeah, that would not make a difference in, let's say, carbon dioxide production. But in large scale, think about it, like if many people are using the greenhouse, there's going to be many natural vegetables users, and that means they're going to use less meat. And meat produces, in fact, CO2, let's say cows. And yeah, and this is like the prototype, just the beginning of it. We connect like the Bluetooth, some sensors, and the smartphone. And that's basically it. Thank you.
Well done. Come on, round of applause. Who's next? Erin. Well done. No slides? No. Okay, no problem. You go ahead, do your thing.
So our idea is to get you to interact more with your rubbish in a bid to both reduce waste generally and also to encourage you to put more into recycling. So the idea is to put some sensors that you could put at the bottom of a bin or a pre-made bin with the sensors in that wouldn't just provide the data back as to how much waste you're putting away in your general waste bin and also your recycling, but also do things such as automatically post to social media, because then if you're constantly, without your choice being, posting that you've put far more in your general waste than your recycling, you'll become far more conscious of it and could lead you to make more decisions that are environmentally friendly, such as buying products with less packaging, because you know that just the small decisions like that will start to come about as a result of being aware and conscious of just how much waste. So yeah, pressure sensors and possibly some light sensors at the bottom of of both your general waste bin and your recycling bins, which will do something. We haven't quite decided the particular details of that.
Very good. Yeah. Excellent. Work in progress. Right, who's up next? Dom?
That's kind of it.
Oh, is it? Yeah. Is that it? Great. Right on schedule. Perfect. Okay, guys.
So
get busy.
We'll retreat to our den.
We will see you back here at 5 p.m.
Okay, great.
Okay, for the judging panel.
Yeah.
Good work so far.
If anyone wants to see us working, we're just across the hall.
Yeah, they're in the pod. They're in the pod, which is just over there.